right, welcome back to the Sports Ranter. All right, I want to say thank you to our hosts, Nico, Papa, and Drew, for coming back. We're a month out from that fantastic Super Bowl loss from the Super Bowl San Francisco 49ers. But a lot has happened. A lot has happened. We have had coach changes, and one of the most exciting part that we like is the free agency, all right? Because it also has a lot of fantasy implications. You know, what teams are going to do, what coach different schemes, and basically what ballers you got on that team. And like I said, we're here at the Sports Renter. We're interested in how it's going to help us win our fantasy football league. And so, without further ado, there's so much to go into. I want to go over for each one of you. Perfect time, Jacob. Here we go. We're getting started. Which do you guys think? Starting off with you, Drew. What is some of your favorite free agency additions, and which ones do you think is going to be the biggest impact? And we'll go to each one. Your favorite free agent addition, and which one will have the most impact in the upcoming season, whether it be the season or fantasy football.
Um, I think the one that has it's one for me. It's one of those ones where I like it, but I'm scared about the ceiling and the cap of how well he can do, just because the QB there always gets touchdowns, you know. But Saquon to the Eagles is, I mean, you bring a whole different addition into that team, you know. Don't get me wrong, DeAndre Swift was nice, but Saquon out of the backfield, obviously he can catch the ball just pretty much as good as any running back. Um, he's dynamic, dude. I mean, the guy is outside of Christian McCaffrey. I think he's the best running back in the league, and he put him on a team where you have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I also got Devontae Parker. I mean, and their tight end's not bad either. So it's gonna be interesting. There's gonna be a lot of mouths to feed. Obviously, Jalen Hurts does take away some of that rushing touchdown upside, but yeah, man, Saquon and the Eagles, their offense definitely got a little bit better. That's for sure. I mean, obviously losing Jason Kelsey, maybe the tush push isn't as effective. I don't know, but yeah, we'll find out. But I like Saquon to the Eagles, man. That's very exciting for fantasy aspect wise.
All right, Papa. The we're waiting on the Chargers to do something significant. They signed John Harbaugh, but is Gus Edwards an improvement from Austin Eckler?
Oh, absolutely not. But we're gonna try to pound the rock. So that's the main thing. We're gonna ground and pound. And I like that kid, Will Dessa, whatever his name is. He's for sure hands, and he can block. So we got no cap space. It's gonna be the Boza brothers. I think he's gonna go to the Niners. To be honestly, the way it's looking, because they cut your boy Arik Armstead. All right, Arik Armstead. Let's get that right, guys. Okay, you guys are reading that wrong. It's Arik Armstead. They cut him, so they're making moves. I just want to say that I think the Bengals are making moves to get Jefferson. It looks like it to me, because he denied what $30 million. So I really think Jefferson's going to the Bengals to reunite with your boy Burrow and Chase. So I think that's what it looks like. It looks like to me, because they're freeing up a lot of money. It's either that they're being really cheap because they cut what, two receivers and Joe. Like, that's pretty tough right there. So I think it's going to be a reunion of LSU. I think it's coming back. It's going to be tough to beat those guys. I think that's what's really happening right there. My favorite pickup. Hate to say it, I hate the freaking Raiders for picking up your boy Wilkerson. I wanted him on the Chargers. I know we don't have no money, but I was just hoping, cross my fingers. But your boy Tom Kolesko, he's gonna mess up that payroll. So he's gonna do the same thing he did at the Chargers.
We have plenty
He's
of
gonna
money.
have all, he's gonna do it. That's what we did. That's what he does. I don't know that your starter is gonna be was it Minshew, and you guys gonna draft a quarterback. So that's what it looks like to me. Looking on my end. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, okay, so he kind of stole my favorite. I was not going to be biased, but the reason why it was my favorite is it was actually one of our biggest needs. It's not just that we made a splash. If you look at our a lot of us had us drafting the D tackle out of Texas, the number one D tackle out of Texas. If you looked at a lot of mock drafts, or another corner, but a lot of people had that Dexter. I think it's Dexter something out of Texas. I'm not sure, mistaken. So it was actually one of our number one needs, and looking at the division and who's at the top of the AFC, it's Mahomes. And when Brady was there, how do you affect them the most? Up the middle. We already give Mahomes fits. The last couple years, even with a bad team, so to speak, and last year, we've been giving them fits with Crosby and all that. Like we beat them last year on Christmas Day. Like, how do you affect the Chiefs even more? They're the team we got to beat. Well, you rush them up the middle, and we had some solid players, and we did good last year. But now we have a game changer, where somebody's going to have to face or double team Crosby, and Wilkins is going to feed. Or if you double team up the middle, Crosby's 1-on-1. Malcolm Koos had a breakout year last year. Tyree Wilson was coming off 2 foot injuries, which people forget. Now I'm not claiming he's some stud, but now he gets to learn from Wilkins and Crosby. So you always get that leap on the second year guy from our number one draft pick. The attributes are there. Now he's just got to put it into the game. So again, I love what AP's doing, and we've I don't know how many times we've talked about it. Trenches in and out, right? Like trenches, build out. Exactly what AP's doing. Our first signing, go get the best, or one of the best D tackles on the market. Love it. My biggest impact, though, to be honest, I love the Derrick Henry pick. I love it. That is, Andrew can roll his eyes. I don't know what it is. I don't know why everybody thinks he's washed. There's always an outlier, right? How many years did we wait? And I know I'm not comparing him to LeBron but dude, sometimes, I counted Brady out for 8 years. People have been counting LeBron out for 10 years now. People have been counting Derrick Henry out for 4 years now. Like, oh, he can't handle it. He can't handle it. He can't handle it. Well, maybe he's just that kind of dude. Yes, I know he turns 30, but every year we're saying he can't handle that many touches. You know who led the league in touches last year? He did. Again, you know who had the worst O-line? PFF? The Titans did. You know how many yards he ran for? 1,200 yards with the most touches and the worst O-line. Like, the guy is just a different monster. He's a beast. And then you put him in that offense with Lamar and all that. Like, I like it. I love it for them. You paid him 2 years, $16 million. You gave him $4 million incentives. Like, hey, if you happen to do, like, I love it. I love that pick. I think it's what the Ravens need. They're in win now mode. So you go get a win now guy. You get somebody you can rely on, give him the rock. Yeah, I think the Ravens, they hit big with getting Derrick Henry. Jake?
Nick just took my most intriguing signing. I agree 100% with what Nick just said. He's going from a bottom 5 offense with no offensive line. The guy just has not. I mean, he's older, but there's been no injuries. He looks like he's slowing down because he's getting hit in the backfield every single play. I mean, what do you want? Wait till the guy can gain a head of steam. So, for fantasy wise, the most intriguing signing for me is Kirk Cousins, and because this guy's proven that he can run an offense on many teams for many years. You have so much young talent in Atlanta now, and it just, for fantasy, I mean, everybody's stock from Bijan to Kyle Pitts to Drake, all went shooting through the roof. And so if he's healthy, and I understand that that's a big if because he's coming back from a pretty catastrophic injury. It seems like with these Achilles injuries, the surgeons doing this have found a way to expedite the process because everybody all of a sudden now seems like their recovery time's a lot quicker. But if Kirk Cousins is healthy, that's going to be the most intriguing pick for fantasy-wise. My favorite pick, obviously, Derrick Henry, but I think overall the most impactful is the Saquon pick because this is not just some older guy that they're signing a 2-year deal. They gave him a lot of guaranteed money. They're going to use the shit out of him. He's a very talented back, and he's still got a few years left. So the other one I wouldn't sleep on is Joe Mixon in Houston. Joe Mixon, everybody's saying he's slowing down and this and that. The dude just keeps chugging along. I can't wait to see how they use him in Houston. I think that he's going to be used a lot more in the passing game. That was an exciting one to me. That was kind of interesting to wake up and see that he was in Houston. So that'll be fun to see.
I do want to comment on the Barkley. what I like about it too, and like Drew said, like Swift was sick, and like people are like, well, is it that much of an upgrade? Where I think Barkley is different is he can break the tackles, right? Swift had the wiggle and he could juke somebody, which Barkley can too, but he didn't have that the power. Like you said, the tush push might not be relevant anymore. You might not need it with Barkley. That's the whole point of Barkley. That's the difference between Swift and Barkley. Swift's not going to move that pile. Barkley can carry 3 guys, with his legs. So I think that gives him that extra, push in with Philly.
Yeah.
Well,
and on Kyle Pitts, he just got 9 more targets because your boy Kirk Cousins loves that tight end. So he's gonna get at least like 9 targets. So this is Pitts' fucking year, hopefully. So,
no,
Hopefully
Kyle.
it's a lot of
every
them.
year.
Hopefully it's a lot of their years because there's a lot of talent there and a lot of expectation. And I don't know if I was a guy like Pitts or like London or what Bijan drafted in Atlanta, seeing the quarterbacks that were there, and then I mean it's like, rather than draft a rookie and have to go through those growing pains, it's like get a guy that's in there. And again, this is all if he's healthy, but I think they'd be giving him the money if they weren't confident in that.
At this point, do you draft a quarterback at 6?
No,
not anymore. Not anymore.
No,
dude, it's automatic playoffs. It's automatic playoffs. You got to play to win.
Trade down and get a quarterback. You still got to get
that. Nah, that division is so weak.
That's terrible. NFC South
you're in win now.
You're almost automatically in the playoffs. If Kirk Cousins is healthy, they're in the playoffs, guys. Like I'll guarantee you right now, the Falcons are in the playoffs as Kirk Cousins.
I don't agree with
that. Because that division's trash.
Let's hear what the Panther has to say. What do you got?
I don't agree with that. Did they make the playoffs last year?
They got Johnson.
Did the Vikings
They were
make
in the hunt until the final game.
Did they make the playoffs? Did they make the playoffs?
They did not. They did not.
Okay, so if you can't make the playoffs with the damn Vikings in that weak-ass division or whatever we're calling it, I don't see them making anything significant. That was my biggest shocker. I thought that was the biggest shocker was Kirk Cousins to the Falcons because it didn't make any sense. I thought the Falcons were in line to draft. I thought they were in a position to kind of rebuild a little bit. And so bringing in Kirk Cousins, and as far as Kyle Pitts is concerned, Kyle Pitts should have been significant without Kirk Cousins. And so bringing Kirk Cousins in, does it really help him? Kyle Pitts should have been open this whole time at 6'8". You know what I'm saying? And so
but you still got to have somebody that can throw the ball.
You got to have somebody that can throw the ball, Ben. You got to have somebody that can throw the ball.
And I'm not saying that Kirk Cousins he's not the guy, but he definitely is a franchise quarterback that can play quarterback.
Because with that argument, then Garrett Wilson should have done a lot more, right? Well, he's got Zach Wilson as a damn quarterback. Like you got to give him a little bit of give there. Garrett Wilson, talent wise, should be top 3 in the league, right? Why isn't he? Because of his quarterback. You got to have somebody who can throw the ball.
Yeah, that was the most shocking one as far as fantasy. I don't see, like I said, I don't even know what receivers or what the Falcons even. They have what? Gabe and
Drake London.
They got Drake London. Okay, so we'll see what happens.
They picked up Moody. I think.
They got Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, they picked up Moody.
And they'll probably draft him.
And at 6 now, you may be able to draft another young stud receiver. There's going to be a ton of them there.
They got to go offensive line.
They got to go offensive line, but
they have to go offensive.
Absolutely, but
they have to go offensive. There's so many offensive linemen in this draft. It is ridiculous. I have never seen. So in my head, I'm like, we should just trade our left tackle and go pick up a right tackle, get another first round pick. They go back into it. I don't know because we don't have the money, so we can't pay our left tackle, so we might as well just trade him now.
You have to trust the process. That's why I said it's not going to be a quick turnaround you're going to be decent, but like you just wait. You wait it out. You got to trust John Harbaugh. So let him do his draft. Let him draft his guys. Next year when you have more money.
It's been 40 years. I've been waiting. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I can't wait no more.
There really was no reason to give Saquon a ton of money when the Chargers aren't going to be ready in a year.
They didn't have any money. The Chargers don't have any money.
Yeah,
we knew they weren't going to be in free agency. We knew
we're gonna have money when Bosa's gone, all right? And Mike Williams is gone. We're gonna have money, all right?
Get them all.
It depends. No, on those types of trades though, depends that gets negotiated. You never know how much dead money you have to still pay.
Sure.
So it's not just they take it over and that's it.
Get
That's
it off
always
the books.
negotiated.
We're fine. We're gonna get that off the books. We're fine. We're good. We're gonna be great.
I'm gonna have to agree with Jake and Nick about Derrick Henry being the most, I think, impactful to the league and also fantasy wise. If you think of Derrick Henry and what he's gonna bring for that play action offense with Lamar Jackson, it's gonna be nasty, man. Like I said, I don't see him missing a step. I see his team getting worse, but I don't see anything wrong with Derrick Henry. But here's my point that I thought of this. What good is it to bring in Derrick Henry onto your team, assuming you get into the playoffs, but then you go into the most important game and you don't even run the fucking ball, right? You don't.
Well, that was the script. That was the NFL script. But no, let me say. Let me say this about Derrick. Let me say this about Derrick Henry. Okay. The Gus Edwards has over a 5-yard career rushing average. Gus Edwards does, and the reason was because the Ravens Ravens offense has been good for a lot of years. They get ahead and then they pound the ball. It's going to be a different Derrick Henry when you have a 2-touchdown lead in the third and fourth quarter. The defense on the other team is tired, and Derrick Henry is just smashing. I would bet that Derrick Henry in fantasy, I'm talking fantasy now, is top 3 running back next year in fantasy. I would not be surprised at all if he was in top 3.
Great question. So when do we draft him now? Is he a top 5 fantasy pick?
Absolutely. He's going to get his carries. He's going to get his carries. Like
Derrick Henry back in the top 5.
Ravens are win now. Ravens have to win now.
I'll take him at 5. I'll take him at 5. He's going to get all the carries. I like that at 5 right now. I don't see just running back wise. I didn't say everybody else. Like running back wise, he's right there.
Okay, so we have Christian McCaffrey. Is there someone who we take over Derrick Henry in this upcoming season?
I don't see anyone.
I like Saquon. I was gonna say
I don't like
Saquon
Saquon.
before
I don't like Saquon. I don't know. I don't know what
the Eagles.
I think he's gonna get vultured by touchdowns by your boy. He's gonna get vultured.
They're gonna go away from that.
No,
That's why they signed him. Yes, because they lost Jason Kelce. A lot of it was because of Jason Kelce, guys. It wasn't Hurts. He was.
You got to remember too. Teams have an off season now to plan for this and all that. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess teams should have made it. Like, if teams could make adjustments last year, they had time to do it. But I think you're going to see now teams having special packages where they put some tanks up in the middle of that line that maybe teams didn't have before. Like, I would be surprised if it was nearly as successful next year as it was.
I guarantee he's not going to have 10 push touchdowns next year. I guarantee.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
I'm going Henry while you guys go Barkley. How about that? I'm going Henry. You guys go Barkley. Is Henry standing there? I'm picking him up.
Save the clip. We'll do a short. Now we know draft day. Arik is not taking Saquon Barkley over Derrick Henry.
I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying Saquon. I didn't say Barkley's good. Remember that.
The guarantee is Papa is going running back. Like that's the guarantee.
Yes, that is the guarantee.
That's the guarantee.
Yeah,
that is the guarantee.
But excuse me. We've had this discussion. We went through the whole season last year discussing how you should probably change your whole fantasy strategy because going running back obviously got you last place. Especially PPR
I'm stubborn old man. That's what I am.
I'm a stubborn old man.
It's coming back. It's gonna come back. Just like fashion, everything else. It's all gonna come back around, baby. It's gonna come back around.
Two running backs that we haven't mentioned, none of us mentioned, that are studs are, and I think both their values are going to drop down just because their teams, I think they went through a little bit worse. The Vikings, I mean, obviously we don't know who the quarterbacks are going to be there, right? But Aaron Jones going to the Vikings, I mean, Aaron Jones has always been successful, and he's not going to have A.J. Dillon, even though A.J. Dillon really wasn't a factor last year. But you're going to get touches over there. He's the main guy over there. There's no competition as far as Aaron Jones at all. Yeah, obviously you're going to have a newer quarterback. It's going to be maybe Sam Darnold or whoever the heck they draft. But they're going to lean on Aaron Jones like crazy. And then the other guy is Austin Eckler. I mean, I don't want to dig salt at Arik or whatever, but I mean, Austin Eckler's still a damn good running back, and
Get out of here.
he's going to go. And same thing, they got rid of Antonio Gibson. He has no more. He has nobody as far as Brian Robinson's there, so maybe they split a little bit. But Austin Eckler is somebody who's probably going to fall maybe in the second or even third round into the draft boards, and he could be a little bit of a steal for a lot of people, depending on how he bounces back.
Josh
So,
Jacobs along the same line.
yeah, I mean, well, Josh Jacobs still don't pick.
Huh?
Get him out of the division. Get out of my division.
You think he's still going to go high? Ben? Or,
Get out of my division.
I mean, the Raiders' offense to the Packers' offense is very similar. You know what I
Jake,
mean?
do you agree? I'm just curious. I thought he'd fall more, but Andrew's saying no. Do you think he keeps his stock, Jacobs?
Josh
Oh, yeah.
Jacobs?
Yeah.
As far as fantasy
absolutely.
draft?
Yeah, as far as fantasy,
Yeah.
does he
I
drop
don't
at all?
think
Or does
Josh
he go up?
Jacobs. I don't think Josh
No,
Jacobs. I think. Yes, I mean, I'm not taking him like over the guys we were talking about, like Henry and Barkley or anywhere near that. But I don't know. His contract is weird. So they were talking about that today, and it's like 4 years, but the last 3 years are all the team option. He has no guaranteed money. Like, it doesn't sound like they really believe in him a whole lot. I don't know. I don't know. I like Aaron Jones didn't do very much.
That's what I thought. He's a tricky one. I thought he'd fall a little, but then Drew say no. So it's going to be interesting fantasy come around.
He could be that guy. He could be that guy that somebody gets in the third or fourth round that wins them a league because he blows
That's what
up.
I was hoping for.
But at the same time, like I don't know. It's just weird, dude. Like Green Bay, it's so weird. I don't know. I can't say. I don't think he has a bad. I think he's one of those guys next year that has a very high floor, but he'll have a low ceiling too.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's I like Josh Jacobs to the Packers. I'm sad for you, Nick. I think that he makes a great Raider. But same thing. Like I don't see. I think he's still in the same spot. I don't know if the Packers are going to continue to run the ball more just because they have Josh Jacobs. I would, right? But they have a lot of young things happening in Green Bay, and so I think he's a good fit. He's still young, but he's also a veteran. So I think he fits in well with what they're trying to build there in Green Bay.
He's a great leader. I agree with you, Ben. He's a great leader, great locker room guy. So you have all those young receivers and Jordan Love and all that. It's sad to see him go. It's a great addition for them, not just on the field, but in that locker room. So
it was interesting because they were talking about his contract.
Josh Jacobs, Filipino.
It just didn't sound like the way his contract was set up that the team like really believed in him. There was no guaranteed money. It's all team options. 3 to 4 years, and that's the best contract he got.
He probably lost his negotiating power when he didn't play the last 5 games of the season. He got Zamir White came in, did pretty decent. Plus, he had his worst statistical year. Now, I don't think he's lost a step, but it's just when you're coming off your worst year and coming off injury, you're going to have to give a little bit in the contract, especially in the running back position. So I agree with you. I just don't think it's because they don't believe in him. It's probably like, hey, prove it, and we'll gladly pay you the rest of the contract. But you got to prove it.
They got him at a discount, so
I
agree. Got lucky on that. Yeah, they got him at a discount.
We still have what's it called here? Some pretty ones available. Obviously, everything is open tomorrow, correct?
Yeah.
But we still have a lot of people
Ben,
available.
I want to bring one up. Ben, I want to bring one up for you live. Or
no. Why do we gotta do that?
See who the Panthers got?
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
They got Deontay Johnson. That's Super Bowl, baby. You're going to Super Bowl right now, baby.
Bryce Young's got a weapon. Bryce Young's got a weapon.
He got a Super Bowl right there, baby.
I was gonna talk about receivers, but even with the Deontay Johnson trade, I don't see that it's significant at all to what we're talking about. I don't think it's impactful. I don't think it really does anything.
You guys
what I like,
Adam Thielen, Deontay Johnson.
What is going on over there?
Dude, what are you talking about, bro? No, so what I'm gonna go with is since I got blasted on live, here's how I'm gonna answer your question, okay? Before Deontay Johnson, before even Brian Burns, before all this nonsense, okay, they signed 2 nasty ass inside guards. So with my man Bryce Young behind me here, that helps him step into the pocket and be the guy who needs to be. Him with the combination of this new coach, Dave Canales, right? Who I was making jokes about him being David Carnitas, right? Because nobody knows who he is, right? Even though I didn't know he was the guy who spent 10 years with Russell Wilson in Seattle. I didn't know that he was the guy to help revamp Geno Smith, also in Seattle. I didn't know, really, that he was the guy behind Baker Mayfield in Tampa, okay? And so, obviously, I've been watching all the videos on this guy, but I do believe he's going to do what's right for Bryce Young, and he did that by getting in 2 interior linemen. So we're gonna talk about whoever the receiver is, who the tight end is, who the fucking running. We had Christian McCaffrey. It doesn't fucking matter, right?
He can't see over the lineman.
We need the O lineman, and that's where I'm happy. So far, I'm confident on whatever decision they're making. Brian Burns, basically, they free up cap space. They have no cap space in Carolina, and so. I mean, pass rushers you can find. You know, I don't know if he's. I'm pretty sure.
Who are they spending their money on?
Brian Burns was one of them. And now he's gone. And they don't even have a draft pick this year because that's what they traded for Bryce Young. You know, so who knows?
My
like I
God.
said, I know they don't even have a first round pick this year. So
That thing's in shambles over there.
So, like I said, the whole Deontay Johnson thing, great. You know, rock on. You can bring in Devontae Adams. Great.
Sounds like they're gearing up to make a move to the USFL.
To the Carolinas, son. It's okay. You know, it's okay. We'll see. It's a wide open division. Kirk Cousins don't scare me. Whatever the Saints are doing and whoever the Bucks. I mean, the only one is really the Bucks. Baker Mayfield and Mac Evans are still there, but they lose their coach that helped them get there. So, we'll see. I think the division's wide open. I'm just praying we get more than 2 wins this year, right? We were 2-15. If we can get somewhere within the 8-8, that's an improvement.
God ain't listening.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible, but
the fact that you guys let Brian Burns go for a second round pick is just. That's just mind blowing to me, dude. You should at least been able to get a first round pick for that guy.
Okay, so how old is Brian Burns? Where was he at? It's like
25, maybe.
No,
maybe 20.
He's 27.
If the offense, realistically though, like if you're a GM and you look at this offense, and this offense is say realistically 3 years away from being a playoff contending offense. Like, what's the point of holding on to the guy and spending the money? Like, I mean, you got to invest elsewhere with younger talent that's going to be around if you're going to become like a playoff caliber team in that time frame. So, like, I get the move. You know, it's not worth the. What's up?
Still got to sell the seats. Still got to sell some seats, like.
When you're looking at Stroud, when you're looking at you took Young over Stroud. Like, I mean, you got other issues to deal with than a cornerback.
What jersey do you wear?
In the seat.
Andrew, you have to remember leverage, man. Yes, he might be a first round talent, but if no one's willing to give you for him, like what are the Panthers? What can they say? Oh, we're gonna keep him if you don't give us a first. Like, they know, the other teams know. Hey, I know you got to get rid of him. We'll give you a second.
You're gonna pay him $20 million a year to lose a little less.
He's gonna leave for free. He might leave for free. If you don't pay him. Like, you better get something now. Come on, it's negotiations. You can't just look at his value. Like, you gotta look at leverage.
As a fan, Stan, like, what do you look forward to? There's nothing. You don't have a first round pick. I'm sorry, Ben. You don't have a first round pick. You don't have a jersey. You're like, I'm gonna buy his jersey because what jersey? You can't get Bryce Young. Well, Bryce Young, you're like,
That's the difference in fans.
My Bryce Young jersey was on the way until I used Andrew's Chinese service to get it. Still waiting. I'm still waiting on that freaking jersey, bro.
It's
still on the boat, man. It's still on the boat.
That's
don't get those
NFL jersey. Nobody orders them. You know, like
they had to research who the Panthers were.
We got a Bryce Young. Who's a Bryce Young?
Who's that? Who's that?
What's a Brescia?
You guys missed it. I think some of you guys missed it. Like the last show that we did, I think a couple of you guys already cut out. But Drew put me on blast. He goes, "You talk about Spanos being the worst owner ever in the league." And he's like, "You look at what's going on in Carolina. You got three new coaches in 5 years. All this shit. It's possible that it could be worse now in Carolina." I'm like, "You're a fucking jerk." I almost cut his ass off. I almost cut his ass.
Ben,
You know,
because I love you, Ben.
Yeah.
It's you, dog. It's you. How do you go from the Chargers to the Panthers? What they call it's you, dog.
The two worst, yeah.
You could have went to the Browns at least. At least go to the Browns at least.
Oh man, like oh man, I feel
at least,
sorry for you, Ben. It's got to be.
Or at least Detroit or something.
The breadcrumbs lead to when some woman did some type of sexual assault to the CEO of Big Herney in Carolina. Ever since then, it's been going bad. The guy resigned, and he was the guy that drafted Kuechly and Peppers and everybody.
The only jersey you would probably get is Kuechly. Kuechly was the greatest linebacker. I'm sorry, that dude was the greatest linebacker in my mind. I'm sorry, that dude was a stud. That dude. That's the jersey you guys should get in Carolina. Only. That's it. Nobody else.
I was in the with the package I got Bryce Young from Andrew's service here. I also got Jeremy Chin. Okay, Jeremy Chin's been released. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, what do I have to look forward to? Just some wins, man. You know, just some wins. I remember being a Charger fan during those times. You know, and I think you can level with me. What you can look forward to is just get back to the football. That's what I love about Coach Canales' philosophy.
Bless you.
He just makes it about the ball. His philosophy is about the ball, and that's what I like about it. Let's just make it about football, and let's make it about winning games. And if we can win some games, then I'll be happy, right? I ain't gonna kick no dog on Sunday if we just win some games, you know. So
I mean, you guys can all relate. I mean, you guys are all Padre fans. I mean, you guys have nothing to look forward to every year, so same thing.
Ooh, silence.
This is a football show. This is a football show.
We don't talk about the Padres like that, Drew. We don't ever.
Yeah, we cut that off last year. We cut off the Padre talk last year.
We don't talk about the Padres on this show.
Well,
all right.
We have a short time left. If there's anything else you guys like to discuss real quick, like a coach acquisition or what you hope to see coming up, obviously we're going to be on next week. Next Tuesday, we're going to recover because not everything's official, right? Everything starts being official tomorrow, right? So some crazy things sometimes happen. So we'll go ahead and
they might change
next week, and we'll start breathing into the draft because that's what's going to happen at the end of April, right? Start understanding what rookies are going to be headed to and what's going to be the best for our fantasy teams. And so, is there anything else?
How about that Russell Wilson? How about that Russell Wilson?
Yeah. I'll just say this, like for the people watching, like as far as fantasy aspects go, like free agency time, like these 2 days, I think, besides outside of the season, are the funnest days of the year. Just with all these names flying around, going everywhere, but. Like to people watching too, realize too, it is very rare for these players at the 27, 28, 29. It's rare, not impossible, but it's rare that they go to another team in a new system at that time in their career and they shine like it's boom. So, like there's a few guys we're intrigued about with Saquon and Derrick Henry and Kirk Cousins and all that stuff. But for the most part, Eckler had a terrible year last year. Some team took a cheap gamble on him. Aaron Jones has not been able to stay healthy, and then he's going to Minnesota, but there's no quarterback. Just I don't know. Temper your expectations. Like it's fun because these guys probably in the last year or two helped your fantasy team do really well or win a championship or whatever. But it's not, like Tony Pollard, he's going to get all this volume in Tennessee. Yeah, but so did Derrick Henry. And did it really help you out that much? I mean, and Derrick Henry is a special talent, So temper your expectations. It's fun and it's exciting now, but watch what teams do in the draft. Watch what teams do in the draft. And I'm learning this too. Look at contracts. Look at what teams are really how much they're really gambling on these guys. Yeah, they signed him or whatever, but how much money are they really like gambling on with these players? Moving on.
The Russell Wilson thing is actually crazy, dude. Like, I mean, I know Pittsburgh isn't, a great team. I know they lost Deontay Johnson to the Panthers or whatever, but I mean, the fact that they got Russell Wilson for barely like
1.2 million, dude.
Like, it's unbelievable. Like the gamble that it's free. And I mean, dude, Russell Wilson's still a decent quarterback. Under Mike Tomlin as a head coach, like he's not going to be fantasy relevant wise, but like as an NFL, just comeback player.
He's going to win games. Yeah, he's going to win games.
Easily be NFL comeback player of the year. Like the dude is still a good talent, and he showed flashes with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. So it's like, we'll see. But the fact that the Steelers got him for $1 million it's shocking.
Yeah, I think that was one of the most anticipated signings. And crazy with what happened with the Broncos, releasing with all that money, and then obviously the Steelers getting him for cheap. But like you said, like Jake said, I want to say thanks, Jake, for bringing up that point. Very well, Russell Wilson's intriguing to the Steelers, but then we're going to add what happens in the draft in 1 month from now. It could be even crazier, right? And so we've all seen things, too, in the past where a team signs a running back, but then they also draft a running back. We've seen it all, right? And so I think it's a very good point. We'll be back here next week to discuss more of this stuff, but also I think next week we're going to lead into talking about the draft and what teams should do, what you think they should be doing going in the draft, and then we'll start studying these rookies and who's top 5, and we'll bring that up at the end of April, okay? And so with that said, I want to say thank you guys. Hey, I had fun. Thanks, Jake. Thanks, Drew. Thanks, Papa, for coming back. This is always a pleasure. Jake, you missed out, but we're going to have some meetings in between here to figure out the schedule going forward, okay? We might get back to doing weekly, okay? So, but with that said, guys, thank you so much. See you next week.
Good seeing you guys.
Good
Love
seeing
y'all.
you. See you next week.
Peace
Later,
out.
guys.
Yo, Ark. When's the first game?
18th, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock? Bet.
Better
All right,
win.
bro. I'll see you right now.
Later.
No, you better
All right,
win.
bye.